Hey everybody, peace and blessings and lots of love and positivity to you. I hope that this video makes you well. I am Letitia. I'm a 42-year-old millennial mom of 5 children, homemaking, home managing mom, immigrant living in the US, unfortunately. I am an progressive, intuitive, INFJ empath, idealist, light worker, energy reader, poet, writer or aspiring writer, and aspiring inspirer. People would usually say, maybe people might say motivational speaker. I don't consider myself a motivational speaker. I consider myself someone who just puts my light and energy, my intuitive perspective, my spiritual uploads, and I call them spiritual uploads because I feel as though they're coming from my core, my spirit, my soul, my light, and up to my throat, coming out of my mouth. My mental downloads coming from my third eye, my intuitive insight, and my knowing, my crown chakra. And I'm only recently learning about chakras, so this is not a natural language for me. But a lot of what I'm learning on my spiritual path, on the path that I'm on, you know, resonate with me. They resonate with me, and I see myself as agnostic. I see myself as someone who is on a journey of learning and gathering information and collecting wisdom from various outlets, not shutting the door on wisdom from coming from anywhere, just seeking after the light, seeking after the truth, seeking after the wisdom of the world, and collecting as much as I can. And hopefully if I'm lucky, I want to live as long as I possibly can. I want to take care of my health. I want to take care of my mental and spiritual health and my physical health so that I can live long enough to be a teacher and an oracle and someone who helps, someone who advises, and someone who helps. And, I think about that sometimes. I think about that all the time. And throughout the course of my life, I ask the question, like, really, do I really want to do this? I mean, it's so much easier just to live for me and live for myself and just enjoy my life. Why am I so interested in making a difference in this world? Why am I so interested in helping people? Why am I so interested in helping people to become their greatest self? Why am I so interested in helping others? And the question too, I ask that even more, is because I'm an INFJ empath, and part of the personality type of that is an introvert. I am an introvert, and I've spent many, many, many years of my life, being inside myself, narrating and having conversation with myself, and not necessarily being external, not necessarily using my outside voice. And when I say outside voice, I don't mean outdoor voice. I mean outside voice, as in not the voice that is in here, not the voice that is in here in my soul and in my head, but my outside voice, what comes out of my throat chakra. I just recently learned how to talk about chakras, and I barely scratched the surface, so I don't know much, but I'm learning. But there is so much to learn every day. And while I'm learning, I still have to focus on being that home managing, home schooling mom that I mentioned. So I have to learn and teach at the same time. And I have to unlearn a lot of stuff because we are in a shift, and it doesn't matter what we were taught. It doesn't matter what has happened before and what all the things we learn. We kind of have to go back to the basics of certain things, and we have to release other things, other mindsets and other ways of thinking that may have been passed on to us. So we are in a shift, in a as people would say, ascension, or in a timeline shift. There's various ways in which people communicate this. People talk about the 5D timeline and all these kind of things, all these different languages. I I'm just learning from other people. And this channel is Letitia Learns Life. And the reason I choose to call it that, Letitia Learns Life, the theme of that channel, is because I have to learn how to, again, navigate and be myself and figure out how to understand process what is going on and understand what is going on and how to make decisions for myself, how to create the life that I want, how to learn and believe with all my heart and soul that I am the creator of my life. I am the creator of my life. And I may not be able to control a lot of things. There's a lot of things outside my control, Just like any world created by any person, there's still a lot of things out of your control, even if you are the God of that world, even if you are the creator of that world. So my world is the planet Letitia. And how I choose to use my time and space as I exist, as I create, while I'm still here breathing and loving and living, how I choose to use that time and space is I choose at this point to learn as much as I can and to understand as much as I can, and to be my best self and my greatest self and to be my highest self and to live on my highest timeline. And this video that I'm recording, and it will be posted. I don't know when this will be posted. I say this all the time in most of my videos. I don't know when it will be posted because I tend to record a whole bunch and then I get to edit, because I'm doing that thing where I am taking care of my home and I am trying to use my time in various ways. And there's only so many hours in a day and there's only so much that you can do. So I use my time reading, consuming, creating, absorbing, learning, processing, like different days, different things, as well as I use my time teaching. I use my time trying to work on that physical health that I was talking about. I use my time trying to trying to deal with what is going on around me and figuring out, okay, well, what is my role? What am I supposed to do? How do I get through this day? Or what do I do? So this video is probably going to be a show and tell video, or I think I was going to call it a hope for a future, and one of my favorite Bible verses back in the day was, I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. And I love that verse. And I held on to that verse for many years of my life, where I believe that God wanted what was best for me, wanted good things for me. I've always had faith that, God wanted good things for me. So through the process of the Trump era and starting to paying attention to politics, which for me is about 10 years, I have evolved. I have had a spiritual awakening, which I had mentioned in previous videos. And I have evolved and become so much more than I was back in the day. I am so much more than just a Christian girl going to church. There was a point where I didn't even call myself a Christian, and now I am so far from considering myself a Christian that I am so much further away from considering myself a Christian than I do around 2016, 2017. I decided I never wanted to go to church again, even though I did go to church since then. I visited a church since then, and it is when I went into that church that I realized that I feel I have a little ladybug here crawling around in front of me. That's really cool. I wonder if I could show you my ladybug. Where is it? You see that little ladybug right there? Oh, ladybug. Okay. So I always consider a ladybug a lucky. So that, I know a lot of people do consider a ladybug just a lucky bug. Um, when a ladybug lands on you or near you, is good luck. So anyhow, I had a spiritual awakening in 2016, and I had talked about it and I mentioned it in previous videos. And I had decided I didn't want to go to church. I don't want to go to church anymore. I made a lot of decisions about my life. I made a lot of decisions, and for the most part, I stuck to those decisions. And I ended up being a more isolated person because church was the one way in which I got to know other people. But one of the things that I kind of realized is that, knowing all these other people from church wasn't really that useful asset to my life, because at the end of the day, they didn't turn out to be useful people in my life. The church was about the churches that I've been to, it was about how you can help the church and how the church can benefit from you, but not necessarily how the church can help you. How they can help you. I have even, as I've said previously, I have even lost a child while I was in church, and I experienced how unhelpful and useful church people are in your life in a way that I've never experienced before. So I've learned a lot from the people in the church. And I've decided that you don't have to call yourself a Christian to be a loving person. Even more so, I learned that even more so during the Trump era, because I see a lot of people that supported him are church people, are evangelicals, are people that call themselves believers and righteous people, when they are the least righteous people that I've ever witnessed in my life. They're the most evil and cruel people I've ever known existed. So we've gotten to the point now where these people, MAGA to me equals Nazi. MAGA to me equals Nazis. Fascists. And I don't know what their intention was at first. I don't know what they thought they were doing, and who they thought this guy is, and who they may still think he is. But it's hard not to see the evil intentions and the darkness in what is being done right now. But this conversation is not about that, really. This conversation is a hope for a future. And I am once again wearing a new shirt. I know that you would start to see me kind of transform my look a little bit, and I'm going to start becoming and start wearing my beliefs, my wearing the visuals of what I love and what I appreciate, what I believe in on my body. I'm gonna wear who I am on my body. That's my intention, that's my goal. So I am working towards changing my wardrobe, and I'm working towards no longer just hoping for the future I want, but creating it, believing in it, expecting it, being knowing that it is, knowing that this is my story, knowing that I deserve good things, knowing that abundance will come my way. I don't care what it looks like outside my life. I don't care what is crumbling outside of me, outside of my world. My world that I'm going to create is going to be a beautiful world. Because I heading towards this time, I fought very hard for democracy. I fought very hard in order to teach people and to highlight people that were teaching people, and to kind of push off this darkness, or fight off this darkness, and fight off this moment that we're in. I've done everything that I possibly could to speak out, within the realms of who I am and what I'm capable of. I'm not gonna be a protester, and I've said that before as well. I'm not going to be a protester. I'm not gonna be doing certain things because it just doesn't feel like that's my role. It doesn't feel like that's where I'm supposed to be focusing my energy. You would have heard me said this in previous videos as well. I feel like an anchor. I'm anchoring the light. I feel like I am at the gateway of, that old mindset, dark world, the world that those people, of that energy, those people in the Trump world, Trump orbit, and the Vladimir Putin orbit, and the dictators of the world orbit, and the technobros of the world, and the billionaires of the world, and the oligarchies, the billionaires, the rich, wealthy people that think that because they have wealth, they can control how people create in this world, how people thrive, and they could create slaves out of human beings, and they could be gods of this world. And I think it's time that we the people start to realize that we are also gods. We are also gods, and we are just as much gods as they are. They're not the only gods, and they don't have a right to control us. We the people have to believe in our power. So I wanted to say in this video that I have been feeling, despite all that has been going on in the world around me, despite everything, and I spent the day this morning, a good chunk of my time on Blue Sky today, and it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. It's not a good place to hang out right now, because the energy is just terrible, and with good reason, because all the news is just bad. It's just bad. It's just bad. It's just bad. And it really does rhyme so much with the 1930s, 1940s in World War II era, World War II period. It rhymes with the Hitler times. It rhymes with the Mussolini times. It rhymes with that time. That part of history. That part of history that I didn't even used to pay attention to or try to learn or whatever. And the reason I didn't try to learn it is because I am an empath, which at the time, like I've said in videos before, I didn't know that's what you call that. But I knew that I couldn't because it would make me suicidal. I couldn't watch. The energy was so heavy watching these things and learning from these things. And I believe that the higher power spent years and years equipping me until I became somebody so much more stronger, with such a better understanding of how to win, how to fight against this evil and this darkness, and how to win. And I deeply believe in, with all my heart, it's a mindset thing, it's a soul thing, it's a turning on your light thing, it's a believing in your power thing, it's a remembering how powerful you are thing, it's a utilizing your gifts thing, it's a not obeying in advance, not surrendering your freedom up front thing, it's a ignoring their bullshit and their noise thing, and it is about grounding yourself in the present, not worrying about tomorrow. So even though this video is called A Hope for a Future, I spend my present visualizing the future that I want to visualize the future that I want to live in. I believe in a future where we recognize the healing powers of Mother Earth, and we realize that we're caretakers of her, and we're supposed to take care of our mother, and our mother will take care of us. Mother Earth, our planet is as much the divine as the masculine God, that people talk about, the Heavenly Father. Our mother is as much the divine. She is just as much the God as that masculine God, that patriarchal God that the Bible talks about. Maybe even more so because I'm more familiar with her I feel her, and she is real, as opposed to the imaginary God in the heavens, the ones that, hear about, you have to have faith, and you have to have faith and trust in, even though sometimes he shows up and sometimes he doesn't. He allows bad things to happen to us. That's a conversation for another video. That's not a conversation for another video, but I dream of a world where we take up our mantle as caretakers. I dream of a world where we know our power. I dream of a world where we can exist in harmony and balance and harmony. I dream of a world where these kind of people, what they're trying to bring back, because that's again another video for another time. What they're trying to bring back, I dream of a world that they bring it all up to the surface, and which I'm hearing that that is what this is about. I'm hearing that from the woo-woo world, the spiritual, mystical, the intuitives and the astrologers, and all the mystics of the world, which I am starting to consider myself one too, in a different way, as an intuitive and an energy reader and a light worker. So the light workers of the world, the star seeds and all, I know I might be saying a lot of words that some people may have heard but not be familiar with, or may never have heard these words at all, but I'm learning to speak in that language because I'm discovering a world that resonates with me, that feels like the light. It feels like the light, and it brings out the light in me. And I'm just learning. I'm learning the language. I'm learning, and I'm understanding it a lot better. So I'm gonna share something with you. I today was going to put out these ornaments that I had for a while. I had these in this that says hope. I had this in a moment in my life where we was hoping for something to happen. We had many hopes, and a lot of the things that we were hoping for and what we were hoping for, a lot of it has happened. I needed this hope for the time that this word, this hope, came into my life. I needed it, and I also got this as a gift. It says, believe, go confidently in the direction of your dreams. I was going to put them out. On my, put them out some in my living room. They were in the basement, on the shelf in the basement. I was going to bring them up and put them in the living room. But at the time, it didn't feel right. And it was weird. It was like, why? Why doesn't it feel right? And I thought to myself that I've had troubles using the word hope. Like when my husband says that our finances are doing really well, and I have, the question I would ask is like, as the financial, as everything is the economy is being fucked with right now in the US, as the economy is being, trying dismantled and destroyed, by a Russian asset for a president, a Russian asset and a felon and a traitor, and a bought and paid for president. Why is our finances doing okay? It's been doing okay it's 3 months so far. It's been doing okay. It's been doing okay since January, and more than okay. It has enabled me to get new things. I could have choose to just like focus on the energy of, well, I don't know how bad it's gonna get. I don't know if the money is gonna run out, and not saying that we're rich or anything, but I don't know if I'm not gonna see money again, or it's gonna get really hard. And I've decided, I've chosen not to feed into that energy. I've been waiting for a long time to do what I'm doing now, to share, to transform my life and to become who I want to be. I wanted the outside of me, the things that I wear, to be intentional. I wanted everything about my life to be intentional, from my clothes to everything, to how I decorate my rooms, to the books I read, to everything, to just be intentional and focused on the energy and the image and the visuals that I want to believe in and create for the future. And I could have chosen to like hoard the money, and by the way, I was responsible. I have been responsible with the money that has come my way as well. I paid off some loans that we've had since last year, because we struggled so hard. So we had to take out some loans. I paid off some loans. I have paid down some things, and I've done responsible things with my money. But I've also used some of my money that's come my way to buy me little things. I got that helps me to have something to look at, that makes me think about the world. And I've showed you some of these things. Make me think about the world and the future that I want to live in. I've already discussed these ones in the previous video. And I've bought some different things. I bought some things, some clothes and different things, And I recently got this, which like I said, I just recently started to learn about how the chakras work. I'm still learning about that, but I understand the chakras now and what they are. Like the crown chakra, I started to learn what they were. The crown chakra is I know, a knowing. I know. The third eye chakra is I see. The throat chakra is I speak. The heart chakra is I love. The solar plexus chakra is I do. The sacral chakra I feel. And the root chakra I am. And I'm going to put that up in my room. And it's going to remind me of what it's all about. It's about that knowing, that knowing. It's about seeing, my intuitive insight. It's about speaking, what I'm doing now, using my throat chakras. My throat chakra is like a doorway, a path in which my knowing and insight comes from. And my heart, what's in my spirit, what I feel in my soul, my spirit, where my soul uploads come from, and then I love that the root chakra is I am. I got another thing here that I gotta find a frame for it, but I got another one that I have to find a frame for, which is the same thing. Instead of saying I know, they say I understand. And I see and I talk. Instead of saying I speak, I say I talk. I love, I do, I feel, and I am. The root chakra is I am. And you remember how I keep saying, if you have watched my videos, you will hear me say that I use in most of my videos the phrase I am Letitia, because and I said that the reason I do that is because it grounds me in the present that I am. It grounds me in the person that I am. It grounds me in where I'm at this phase and period of my life. And when I saw that, I knew that I was onto something. I knew I've discovered about myself that I say things and then the universe, God, source, spirit, the divine, the higher power, whatever you want to say, sends me confirmations that I'm on the right track. I'm understanding things in a different way, and I'm not alone in it. Even though I might kind of like communicate it differently, but similarly to other people, similarly but differently. But I'm not off track, and I'm not off base, and I'm learning that. So I also got, this is kind of like a little show and tell video. Show and tell video. I also got a new tarot deck, and not necessarily for the purpose. I don't see myself as a tarot reader, honestly, but not necessarily for the purpose of reading tarot. I don't know if that's in my future, but it doesn't necessarily feel like what I'm called to do right now. But the reason I love this deck, I got this deck, is because of this image. And then the other images in this deck are absolutely just as beautiful. And again, these are things that create visuals in my mind. Confirm what I see, confirm the visuals I see. You see right there, that's her third eye glowing. Confirm what I see and how I see the world. And I told my husband today that I'm starting to get like super woo-woo, as the world will call it. But what else is there to do? The world has gotten so dark that the only thing left for me to do is to step into my light and be the light, because I've always asked to be the light. I hear like spiritual people say that we have chosen to be here for this timeline. And I find it so, I'm like, yeah, right. I chose to be here. I chose to be, but it's kind of a little bit believable and unbelievable at the same time, because the kind of person that I am becoming in this timeline makes me know that I probably did choose to be here. I did ask for this. I did ask for it to be born in this time, at times such as this, because not many people would handle this timeline the way that I am handling it, And I don't know if I'm handling it the right way or not, but it's working for me, because at the moment, I have hope for a future. That's the whole point of this video. I have hope for a future. I'm starting to visualize the future. I'm starting to visualize the birth of new earth, as much as these people in their new world order vision is, it seems louder, it seems more like they're winning, it seems that way. But for me, I just don't feel connected to that. I don't feel it. I don't feel like they're winning. I don't feel that darkness. I don't. And I'm just here holding my lantern at the gateway, asking y'all to come. Come. So, turn on your light, as I would usually say. Don't feed them your fear. And see and figure out what it is that you are called to do, and only you would know that. Only you will know that. If you turn on your light, that turn on your light is the same thing as turn on your intuition, turn on your connection to the divine, whatever the divine looks like to you. Even if the divine is only nature, even if the divine is your family, even if the divine is you, the divine, to be honest, is you. That's what the divine is. It is you. So turn on your connection to you. You're not what the world is saying, and not what they're trying to feed you, not what the media is saying, and what the other creators are saying, and other speakers and public figures are saying. What are you feeling? What are you saying? What's the vibes you're getting? For me, I am surrounded by the love of Mother Earth, love of my family, the love of myself. I am surrounded by the light. I am protected by the divine. And I feel as though my family is protected. And, even though I'm in this crazy place, on this sinking ship along with everybody else, I don't expect that I'm going to sink. And I hope that this video connects to you in some way. I hope that you also feel connected to what I said in this video. And I hope it wasn't too long. You know, sometimes I don't know when to shut up. But I hope you enjoyed it. And I pray that the rest of our March, even if it's gonna be madness around us, remember that if it's not mad where you are, then stay grounded in the beauty of where you are. Look at the birds, look at the sky, look at the moon, look at the sun, look at your children. Focus your energy on self-love and the love and creativity and fulfilling your purpose and remembering your power and remembering who you are, remembering how strong you are, and doing your part. So I hope that you enjoy this video. I'm recording on March 16th, 2025. I don't know if I said that in the beginning, but remember to subscribe and to like and comment and all that stuff. And I apologize if you feel like this video was too long. I had a lot to say. I probably did ramble a little bit, I'm not sure. But I did have a lot to say. Peace and blessings and much love.